Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, Gimpy. I'm here with the start of turn 3 in Day of Heroes, the scenario A Short Hop. A couple things to touch on real quick before we get started. I saw a few comments talking about certain requests for the next scenario playthrough. Yes, I am going to have a bigger game going on. I've picked out the Red Star, like I said previously, for the game that's going to be played, and it's got a map that is 22 by 34, so it's going to fill this whole poster frame here. And I'm looking right now which scenario exactly to go with. If you guys have a specific request of one of those, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just pick one out when I get done with this game, but I'm going to make sure it includes tanks and all that good stuff for you guys. Something else cool that came in is my little dice tray here. See, it says 101st Airborne on it. It's got the Screaming Eagle. It's got jump wings down in there, so you guys can see that. Little rivets, star on the side. So it's a cool little thing. You know, I gotta say I like it. It's got the thing on the back. I got a couple extra pieces for some reason. One, there's a lid for it, so you can actually store your dice in there and fold it over. I'll show you guys that here in a sec, but I can take this front plate off and put the 82nd Airborne on there. I don't know why those pieces were included, but you know, it's cool to have them. But you take and pull it and fold it down, and if you put the lid on, you can store your dice. The guy did have a US Marine one, but it wasn't one that would fold, so I went with that one instead. And if you get one of these, you can take and glue it together to make it a permanent, or you can leave it as it is where it's put together and you can break it down into its individual components. I got it off of eBay. If you're interested, you can just type in military dice tray. There is the manufacturer of it. I will warn you that it does stink when you get it. The paper that came with it said that the smell is due to like the laser etching and stuff that's done to it. And it goes away after a couple days. So I'll let you guys know about that. But we're gonna try it out for this game here. First time I'm using it. I did throw some dice through it earlier. It works pretty well. You can see it's got the, well, I don't know how well you guys can see down in there, but it's got a couple of those little ledges in there to knock the dice around like you would expect in a dice tray. And it's pretty nice. Like I say, I like it. But let's take and get started here on our next turn. Let me grab my chart and we will see what kind of reinforcements the Somalis are going to get. You remember they have their roadblock generation. We're going to do that before we do our rally and initiative phase. So let's roll our 2d6 and see what they get. I'm going to see if I can keep the dice tray in camera for you guys. They got an 11. I do believe that's nothing. Yep. No units, unfortunately, for those guys. Sorry, Somalis. The dice have just not been on their side. I got a feeling I'm just going to wipe them the hell out. They probably don't have too many turns left in them. They've got one stack that's still doing okay. Nope, they've already taken casualties as well. A few random counters around. These guys are wounded and messed up. They lost a whole stack up there. I think, like I said in the last video, the Somalis probably do better spread out rather than condensed up, because it's too easy for them to go down with the amount of firepower the Americans bring. They have to spread out and do as many smaller shots as they can. Let's roll for initiative. As usual, brown for Somalis, white for Americans. I have initiative, so I get to try to rally first. I do have two counters here that are shaken. Let me set those guys to the side. These two, their morale is 6, and they get the leadership bonus. So 7 or under will rally them. First one there on the left is a 9, no rally. That's unfortunate. And second one is a 7, so he will rally. I'll take and flip him over and set him to the top, so I know I've got him. Maybe I'll have that group push on ahead and leave the shaken guy behind for the medic to pick up on his way and form another group with, because I do have, yeah, there's that hero unit. Hudson, I believe, is with these guys now. I might have him take and just tag off with the leader, Hudson, and the rallied squad of Rangers. Depending, I think that's all my guys that I have to rally. You guys bear with me any tiny little goofs I might make on this. I've, like I said previously, just got in my Fields of Fire game by GMT. Oh, let me go ahead and promote NWS Wargaming, the online store. The dude's excellent, cheapest prices you can find, and he ships fast as hell. Order from this guy, he's awesome. I'm telling you, order from him, you will not regret. But I got my game from him, and I'm power driving through the rule book to try to learn the game as quick as I can so I can get it down to the table in between turns of this and start showing it to people, because I've already been getting requests for a playthrough of that as well. So we're going to get to it as soon as we can. And yeah, none of my other guys need to be rallied. Oh, that's good. They do have, I think, a shaken leader here. And is this guy shaken? Nope. He's just wounded. Okay, so we will attempt to shake their wounded leader, who's one less on his morale. So it's going to be a 4 or higher, or 4 or lower on him to do that. Oh, wait. I goofed up on that. Positive terrain modifier. Those guys rolled a 9. You get a 2 bonus on that, so these guys would have rallied as well. I always forget about that damn roll. So, flick them over. And look, I'm knocking them all over. Poor guys. So this guy is in a positive terrain modifier. He is at a 4 with his -1, so plus the 2 for the terrain, so it's going to be 6 or under for it. And he got a 5. He's good. Good thing I remember about the terrain. So he's still wounded, but and the Somalis don't have medics either. So oh, and I goofed earlier. I think I only rolled once on this. So that's what I'm talking about. That's why you shouldn't try to learn 2 game systems at the same time. Or not learn, but keep them in your head. I rolled only once on the generation, so we're going to roll on that one more time for the other roadblock down here to the south. Let's see what they get. 2. 2 is a mob. Oh, no, I do not want a mob right here on top of me. Okay, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. On 5 or 6, we'll re-roll. 5, we'll re-roll it. 2, so mob's going to spawn right there. There we go. Which isn't bad. It's going to take, mobs can't go into buildings, which means they would have to spend all their movement to get into one of these 2 squares. I might just have to kill that mob and just take and eat the cost on it. Okay, I think that was all their rallies. Yep, he rallied. All my guys, everyone rallied. Okay, and I have initiative, so I got my first move. Now the thing that I'm looking at is my helicopter here is adjacent to those guys, and I do believe, I have to check just to make sure, but I do believe they're going to get an adjacency bonus. Yeah, they do get an adjacency bonus there, so that would have the helicopter, the Black Hawk, in range of small arms and other fire, so I really need to back him off. I'm thinking I back him off. Right now it's 1, so 1, 2. He would have to move back to there. And he would be 1, 2, 3 away from these guys. The sniper could fire. Well, I mean, to be fair about it, if I try to back him off, they can op fire, and if they're wanting to take out the helicopter, that would really be what they would be trying to do, because they cannot fire at the helicopter otherwise, because they're so wounded up. They all have a range of 2. So I can either just directly fire and try to hurt them as bad as I can, or I can try to back off, at which point they're gonna, to be fair about it, they're gonna up fire on me. I mean, they're taking out my helicopter is too many victory points. That's 6 victory points for taking out the helicopter. Now, not specifically taking out the helicopters, like the crew and everything that's in it. They have to kill the people in it, but they'll very likely to kill the people in it. So, all right, we're gonna run the gambit. Since I'm doing well anyway, we're gonna stay on top of them, or stay right adjacent to them, and we're gonna attack. We'll start with my sniper, and since we are in hover mode here in the helicopter, so these guys will hover on, I can roll 2d6 against the leader, and again, and Day of Heroes, Delta snipers, normally snipers cannot pick their target. Delta snipers can pick their target. So I will do 2d6 for me. His terrain modifier of 2 plus my 1. Okay. Let me take and do that. What dice should I use? I'll tell you what, I'll use my space dice. So I got that, my little space dice for the sniper, and brown is for the leader. And the helicopter is going to be firing into the square afterwards because they have to fire together. He doesn't have to fire at that square. Like, the helicopter could fire elsewhere, but I am going to take and shoot all into that square. Ah, shit. Look at that. 3, 4, plus his 1 is 5 against 2 plus 2 is 4. So it's only rolling on +1. But he is wounded, so if I roll high enough against his morale, morale, I'll do all right. Damn, no. I mean, he's wounded, so it's reducing it by 1. So yeah, I might 1 on that. So what is that going to be? I need to get him up there. I'll at least shake him. Let's see what happens. Oh my God. No, 2. Miss. Sniper, you're killing me. Again, no hero generation for Somalis. God, that just... I was trying to pick this guy off. Okay, helicopter firing with a firepower of 4. I expected to kill these guys, to crush them up. 4 against their terrain modifier again of 2. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, Somalis are coming back. They got an 8 total, and I got a 7, so no effect. Wow. Wow, this was a crucial turn right here. That was bad. Okay, let's draw the card. And these guys are at range 1. These guys are at range 1. These guys are at range 2. There's so much. That's it. This guy over here, he's at range 1. So there's so much in priority range, and it's going to be fire, fire. I knew that was coming. Fire, fire. All right. If I'm going to be fair about it, they're going to take and fire at their most immediate threat. Now, something you could do in a situation like this is you could take and roll off on it. So, for example, there is at range 1, this target, and then this target, and then also these targets. Okay, so there's 4 targets, so you could roll off on it, 1, 2, 3, 4, and pick it that way. But the way I play it is I pick what's best for the AI, and taking out my helicopter is an absolute best for the AI. And besides, I need to learn how to take the shots at the helicopter. Now, his armor value is a 2. This guy is shooting with his firepower of, what is that, 1 plus 1. So he's got 2, and he's got 3 counters with him. Yeah, and this guy was knocked down. He's got 3 counters. Now, if I pick this, well, none of them are going to be primary. So it's going to, since they're all 0, that's going to add 2 firepower past the first one. All right, so you get 0 for the first squad, and then 1 for each one following. So the leader's adding 2, so that's 4 in small arms fire, and then also a guy with a RPG. So 4 small arms and RPG fire. And you know what? I'm going to pause it here real quick and just eyeball the rules, because I am a little new to the helicopters and I want to make sure that I do this part right. So give me 1 sec, I'll be right back. Okay, and I think I just remembered that I forgot to add my +2 adjacency bonus when I was firing on these guys, but hey, that's on me. So I'll just have to eat the fact that I could have lit those guys up a little bit better. So when you add their firepower together, you get the 4 +2 for adjacency bonus. So they're getting, and helicopters are considered adjacent in the rules if they're hovering on top or still next to, even though they're up in the air. And I forgot to mention in the previous shot, I'm adjacent, so of course they're spotted. +2, so they're rolling the 6, and basically what you do is you total their firepower against the vehicle, and the vehicle's armor in the bottom left here is basically its terrain modifier. It doesn't have, helicopters don't get a terrain modifier for being in a certain hex. So you're rolling against their armor. So helicopter has a 2 plus the 1d6. These guys have a 6 plus the 1d6. That is unfortunate. All right, so let's see what they get. Oh, all right, so I got a 6 and they got an 11. So 5 difference. That's unfortunate. They really tearing me up on that one. All right, and at this point we will take and roll off on the damage chart. You can see here there is a damage spot for the helicopter, just like there is for the other units, and the Delta snipers here. I'm knocking them all around. So let me get these guys back in place. The helicopter has a morale of 7. The Delta sniper has a morale of 6. Okay, let's pull this out. 5 plus this. We're rolling on the Delta sniper first. Let's see what they get. 3 plus 5 is 8. That is greater than that, so they're going to be shaken. The good part with Delta guys is their stats go down, but they still have the ability to self-rally and the ability to move, attack, and do stuff. They're reduced. They're nowhere near what they were, but they can still do some hurt. Okay, so rolling on the helicopter. 5 plus the d6. 1. That's a 6. Helicopter takes no damage. All right. Now we're rolling on the RPG here. Yeah, if I can get it. He is at range 2 or under, so it's going to be a 6, but you roll 2d6, and 6 or under. But since it's adjacent, it's going to be 8 or under. Make sure that I'm reading that right. Ordnance fire table. Yeah, adjacent -2, but helicopter is a target, hovering is +1, so he's getting -1 total on it, and he's got to have a 6, so it's 7 or under is going to be for him. 8. Okay, he missed. That's good. Not as bad as that could have been. I actually, sorry, I know I keep reaching from the camera. I apologize, guys. That could have been much worse than it was. Let me get these guys stacked back up. All right. Yeah, with all that firepower they were bringing on it, I expected a lot more pain on my guys than had happened. So let's take and throw the fire marker on them, and now we're back to me. Let's see, what are we gonna do here? I need to put some hurt on these guys. I can't fire through here because the roadblock that's right there is blocking these guys' line of sight. I can fire with them. They are out of 40 mics though, so see, that'd be 5 plus another 2, 7, 8 firepower if I fired there. These guys are still moving up, which they'll probably continue to do so. Or I could do an assault move here because these guys have a lot of good firepower. They could move into these buildings and attack those guys being adjacent to them, building to building there, and put some hurt on them. And that'd be a good idea for me to actually hurt this group, since these guys still can't hit me. This group can put some hurt over here if they spot them. So this would be the one to actually go for here, since these guys have already attacked. Yeah, I think I'm going to take and do that because the Somalis, I mean, they've got a bunch of mobs around, but as far as actual fighting units, they're really starting to run low. Okay, so we're going to, okay, I couldn't do it diagonal, but I could go up. Yeah, so it'd be 2 there, and it'd be 3 there, which I don't have the movement points for. So I can go here and add the firepower together. That's 2, 5. And you know what? We're going to spend one of those to negate the assault move penalty. So that's another 4. We're up to 9. Medic is nothing, and then another 2. So that's 11. Yeah, 5 plus the 40 mic is 4, 9. Yep, 11 total, which gives us 9 on the assault move because of our fire penalty for moving and attacking. I'll lay that next to them so we remember we're doing it. Firing directly onto these guys right here, and I'm hitting them with a 9 against their terrain modifier of a 1. So this should do some serious hurt to them. And wow, they are rolling high this time. I got a 13, so they rolled a 6. Difference is 7, which that should be enough to crush them, because that's already above their morale. Let's walk them out here. Most of these guys are already wounded. Let's see what we got. One guy with an RPG, one guy with some cot, another regular guy, and a leader. Alright, 7 against their morale. Rolling our chart here. Against the leader, I'm not going to be able to get triple his thing, so I can't eliminate him. But we'll see what happens. 6, nice. So that comes out to 13 again, which is greater than 2 times, but not greater than 3. So he's going to take a wound. Throw a wound marker on him. Just going to reduce him, and the rest of his guys should be eliminated because they're being hit with a 7. That's a half counter, half counter, half counter. Yep. I'm not even going to bother to roll off on it because there's no way they don't die and leave their stuff there. And the reason I'm doing that is because rolling off on it, I'm already into the next category with the amount of differential that's hitting them, and they're already stepped down. As you can see, there's their front side. They're already halved, and Somali squads don't take shaken results, they just take casualties. So second casualty hit, they're getting crushed. The only thing that is left in that hex actually is a leader with an RPG, so he doesn't have a melee eligible weapon, so I can move a group onto him on my next turn if I want, which will kill him, which will just take him out. So that's one way to go with it. Back to the Somalis, we'll draw a card for them. Should be an attack, yep, range 1, it's going to be a fire. I'm going to have, let's see, they've got these guys and these guys here at range 1. I'll tell you what, we'll do 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6 to see who's doing range 1 shots, just to be a little more fair about it, because it really doesn't matter who they, well, let's see. These Delta guys have no cover. They're just out in the road. These guys have cover, these guys have cover. I'll tell you what, we'll do the shot they have the best chance on against that Delta group. So the adjacency bonus is the only thing that's giving them any firepower, which is going to give them a 2. They are adjacent, so they've got sight on them, obviously. So let's roll on it. 2 versus my 0 on the white die for the Delta. 3 for them. Let me slide this back so you don't see a little bit. So they got a 5 against my 2, which is 3 difference. So we'll roll 3 on it and see what happens. Delta's morale is a 6, so it's going to be 4 or higher. My redneck coming out. 4 or higher to shake them. 3 equal 2. So no effect. Yeah, had to be greater. Sorry, buddy. Dropping my fire marker. And they're going to be taking the same shot down here on their next turn. Let me set this up here so I remember these guys have fired. Oh, what I should have done. Actually, I wasn't even thinking about it. This leader, he is still alive. I mean, he's in a stack of support weapons, but he does have a support weapon he could take and fire at point blank range. Back at my guys. What am I going to do on my turn? Really, I think we're on mop up at this point because they have so little left. Let's see, I could take and fire into this group, or I could try to wipe this group out, because this is their strongest group left. I haven't been able to do as much, but they've already got casualties and wounds, so I can pretty much take out either group. I'll tell you what, since this group has already fired, I'm going to take and go after these guys instead to try to reduce the amount of fire I'm going to be taking back. I'm at range 1, 2, 3. I can do machine gun fire and ordnance. I'll tell you what, we'll just leave them hovering and just have them blast into the square. That should be able to eliminate the remainder of these guys that are there. Because, yeah, all these Somali counters are wounded. Okay, machine gun fire first against their terrain modifier of... Ooh, they're in the red square, so 2. So my firepower 4 versus their 2. Ooh, finally, Dice Gods got back to me. So I got a 10 versus their 4, 6 differential. So that's what they're rolling on. Hell, that's probably going to crush everything that's left in that hex. Yeah. This leader is already wounded. His health is at a 4, or his morale's at a 4 already. We'll roll on it, but they're all dead. There's nothing that can be done. These guys are all half squads with a firepower of 4. Yeah, there's nothing that can be done for them. The leader's going to take a wound automatically. There's nothing that can stop that. Yeah, we'll roll for the leader just to do it. 1, that's a 7 against his, so second wound, he's down. And with 6 being against theirs, again, same situation. The firepower is so high that these half squads automatically are going to take casualties, and the half Somali squads taking casualties are gone. So we'll pull these off, pull that there. Grab my little wounded marker, and don't even have to worry about firing the ordnance against them. I'll tell you what, I really think I did the Somalis a disservice by bunching them up, because the Somalis that have actually done the best have been the Somalis that were single squads, just tucked around, spotting my guys, hitting them with adjacency firepower, basically. I should have done that from the beginning, because I was too able to stack my firepower against them and just crush them. So let's get it finished out. I just fired there. They're gonna draw a card. Like I said, these guys are adjacent. The ones, this guy is not going to take and enter melee because he can't. He doesn't have a melee weapon as a leader, but he can fire, as these guys can as well. We're going to have him fire his RPG at point blank range at my guys for the adjacency bonus, just to see if he can do it, because the Somalis need a win on this one. Let me turn that over so you guys can see. Since he's firing at 2 or under, it's going to be a 6 or under to hit. With the adjacency, it's going to be an 8 or under to hit. And then rolling on the HE equivalent, which is a 2 for an RPG for all my guys in the hex. So he's looking for 8 or under here. 9. I told you the dice gods are just not in it for the Somalis on this one. We're just pinking them off left and right. I'm trying to just take out the remaining large forces. The thing that I could do, I could have this group go 1, 2, 3, 4 here just to wipe out the leader that's there. But then this guy's only got, well, no, they've got 6 movements. So if they went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this lower group could move there and take him out, while this group can still fire it there and hit their other big group. So let's take and fire here. I've got a M60 on these guys plus their firepower, so that brings them up to 5. 3 divided by 2, 1.5. Rounded up to 2 again, so that's 7 plus his leadership bonus of 8. 8 against their terrain modifier of 2. So roll on it. They got a 5 and I got a 10, so difference is 5. So that should be enough to put some hurt on them. Let's walk it out. Here, what do they got left? Not much. Wounded leader. Alright, 5 against his morale is reduced by 1, so it's a 4. Oh, 1, that's 6, so it's above it. And this guy rallied, so he's going to go back to shaken, unfortunately. So that will still mean the rest of these guys again are gone, because that's all higher than their morale and they're all half squads. This again is what I was talking about not bunching the Somalis up. The Somalis just do not stand up to the firepower. Anytime you can bunch your firepower up, you just crush them. Toss those up there. If you look at the north side of my board, you see it's all the Somali units. I just keep throwing them up there instead of into the casualty box like I should be doing. But for the Americans, I need to get here for my victory points. So let's take and throw a fired marker on these guys. We'll draw another card for the Somalis, which the only thing they have left that isn't already fired or a mob is this group here, which we know that's going to be fire. So who do they want to fire at? It's going to be the same difference either way. We'll have them fire at the lower group since, no wait, I did rally all of them. We'll still have them fire at the lower group since the lower group hasn't acted and it's their best chance of survival. Firepower 2 against the terrain modifier of 1. And they got a 4 and I got a 6, so no effect. The Somalis have not, the dice gods just have not loved them, not at all. No chance for op fire now. Well, that's good because there's no chance for op fire. I can move there or shoot there and move there. Does this guy have a support weapon? Well, he's shaken. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, because I have to add 1 to go diagonally, so I can go do like that. 1 point here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 points to enter the building at a diagonal, which would kill off the shaken leader. Yeah, we're gonna take and do that. Leader is gone. And that's because I'm entering in basically melee with him and he's shaken, so he cannot survive. It's a non-melee eligible unit. It's listed down here at the bottom of the melee table. Shaken units, leaders without a support weapon, and it needs to be a support weapon they can use in melee. And snipers are non-melee eligible units. So any non-melee eligible unit that gets engaged in melee basically just dies automatically unless there are other melee eligible units in the hex, which there aren't. So there's my move. What do they have left? They have mobs. I'll tell you what, I think this might be it for them, because I got these guys going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Delta can enter here to take that out. I can have this Delta shoot there to take that out, and then the rest is mobs and moving my guys in. Yeah, I think turn 3 might actually be the end of this game. But let's take and go ahead and finish her out. We'll take and roll off on the mob here. Let me grab my chart. And again, for mob activation, down here at the bottom of Somali troops, it shows you what you do on them. Oh, I'm sorry guys, I bumped the camera, I apologize. So, roll there, 5. 5 is move mob. And unfortunately, the mob only has one direction it can go. Well, no, they can move through that. Or, yeah, we'll do this. 1, 2. So that mob went there. And it goes back to me. And we'll have these guys, Delta here that's been doing the shooting, go 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5 to take out this final leader here. Oh, he's not shaken. He's just wounded. Never mind. We're going to shoot the SOB. I thought that guy was shaken as well. He is not. He is just wounded. So we will shoot at him instead. Firepower 2 against his terrain modifier of 1. So, wow, look at that. Snake eyes. So I ended up getting a 3. He got a 2. So it's 1. I have to roll high against his morale, which is 5. So it's now 4. So, yeah. 5, it's greater than, so he goes back to shaken. But unfortunately, I don't have anyone else who can take and move into his hex. So, we'll take and pull this off. He fired. We'll take and roll on the next mob that's up here and see what they're going to be doing. They are doing 2, which is confusion, which means I move the mob. We'll go 1, 2, and move them further away from me so they are out of the way. I can bump it up so you can see right there at the very top. Come on, camera, stay up there. Alright, so right here's where we moved them to. And that means I've got 2 Delta guys left to handle. We'll take and fire onto this group of guys. Adjacency bonus from my Deltas, firepower 2, so adjacency bonus brings them up to 4 against that Somali squad's terrain modifier of 2. 8 versus his 4, so it's 4 differential, which is going to be enough to wound him at a minimum. And if I roll, nope, a 6 won't even do it. At most, he's just taking a wound casually. So that brings it up to 9. He takes and flips over to his casualty side. And put a fired marker there. Next group of mobs right here. Rolling on the chart. They got a 5 and it's move mob. We'll take and move them towards the objective. 1, 2. And my last set of delta, which really hasn't done much. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get him over there. Yeah, I'll move there just to have him there. And we've got a mob here. We'll roll on this mob first, since this mob is this mob's blocking that one. 5, again, they're moving. 1, 2, and I think that is all my guys that can do anything. Roll off on this last set of mobs there. 1, which is mob dispersal, so they go away. And this set of mobs, or a mob. 4 is angry at a 024. No, I was just clearing these guys out. All right, so at the end of turn 3, I'm gonna play it out because I don't want to take and quit out on you guys. But the game, it's really over at this point. There is one shaken and wounded leader left with an RPG. He's got a couple of RPGs in his hex, actually. And let's see, they've got 1 024 half counter here, and then the rest of them are mobs, which I actually cannot damage. Oh nope, they got one other little half counter over here, so they have 2 half counters and a leader left. So we'll take and record it. I'll play through it just to show you guys what the end's going to be, because I think the next turn will finish off what they've got left, because all I got to do is move a guy there to take out their last leader, another shot there, kill those guys, and then the only thing they'll have on the table is mobs and whatever generates from these two roadblocks, which isn't going to stop my 2 helicopters and squads of rangers and delta. I'll tell you what, when I did play this scenario the first time, it was nowhere near this one-sided. Not in the least this one-sided. But this one has just been like my dice god heaven. Watch, the next game I'm going to get crushed. Alright, so let me cut it here and get everything rendered and put up, and I might just go ahead and film the next turn tonight. Go ahead and post that up too, since it's really not going to take too long. You guys take care. I'll see you in the next one.